common multiples found. Write a list of each denominator's multiples down. The smallest number you can find in both of them is the least common multiple, aka the LCM.
The least common multiple can also be called the least common denominator, or LCD. It stays the same, and the difference are the sum when you subtract or add two fractions.
3/6 of a pizza minus 1/4. Find the LCM, which is 12, of course.
12 is the least common denominator.
Make equivalent fractions.
6 twelfths and 3 twelfths.
Then do the subtraction.
6 minus 3 is 3.
3/12 of a pizza at the pizzeria.
Find the least common multiple, that's the first action. Next is finding equivalent fractions. Then do the addition or subtraction. Simplify like an automatic reaction.
2/4 of a pizza plus 1/5. It smells so good, we had to give it a sniff. The LCM was 20.
The new denominator.
We found equivalents quickly.
10 20th plus 4 20th.
14 20ths of a pizza at the pizzeria.
Find the least common multiple, that's the first action. Next is finding equivalent fractions. Then do the addition or subtraction. Simplify like an automatic reaction.
5/6 of a pizza minus 1/3. I knew the LCM was 6. And have you heard?
It's also called the least common denominator.
I found equivalent
5
fractions.
6 then 2 6.
Then I did the
5
subtraction.
minus 2 is 3.
3/6 of a pizza at the pizzeria.
Yum, yum, yum. Find the least common multiple, that's the first action. Next is finding equivalent fractions. Then do the addition or subtraction. Simplify like an automatic reaction.
A fraction like 5/2 with the numerator larger than the denominator is called an improper fraction. No, they're just called that. Oh, there's a shortcut for converting mixed numbers to fractions. Yeah, how much oil do we have left over? 3 3/4 liters of oil. The shortcut is to multiply the whole number by the fraction's denominator and then add the numerator to the result. We place that result over the denominator and get our improper fraction. So, 4 times 3, that's 12, plus 3 is 15. 15 over 4, 15/4. See, Moby? Mixed numbers aren't so tough.
Hello class, I'm so excited you're watching this video. I hope it helps you a lot. Alright, today in math what I would like to do is just to review fractions. Alright, so let's just start at the beginning. Alright, so we've got 1/3. Okay, fraction. Now let's talk about the parts of this fraction. On the top is the numerator. So in this fraction, 1 is our numerator. Alright, the number on the bottom is our denominator. So in this fraction, 3 is our denominator. Number on top, numerator. Number on bottom, denominator. Good? All right, now this is a proper fraction. Why? Because the numerator is smaller than the denominator, making this a proper fraction. All right, now let's say I had a fraction that looks like this. 5 is my numerator, 2 is my denominator. That makes this an improper fraction because my numerator is larger than my denominator. Okay? Now, how do I change this? All right, I would need to make this into a mixed number or a whole number, and that depends on if I have a remainder or not because I have to divide. Okay? Now, I would ask myself, how many times will 2 go into 5? All right, 2 and 5. Well, 2 will go into 5 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. Then I subtract and get a remainder of 1. Okay, so this problem has a remainder, so I know it's going to be a mixed number. If I did not have a remainder here, then this would only be a whole number, okay? So, who remembers what my whole number is in this problem? Yes, great job. It's this 2, okay? The number on top of the house is a whole number. So I'd have 2. Now, I need a numerator. So what's my numerator going to be? Yes, the 1. The 1 is my numerator. The remainder is the numerator. All right, so then that leaves 2 as my denominator. All right, number on the outside of the house is always the denominator. Okay, whole number, numerator, denominator. We good? All right. Now, let's say I had 4 over 2 instead of 5 over 2, okay? So if I divided this, if I'm changing it into a mixed or a whole number, if I'm dividing this, how many times will 2 go into 4? 2 times, right? 2 times 2 is 4. Now, in this problem, I do not have a remainder. I'm sorry, I do not have a remainder. All right, so I'd only have a whole number, 2. All right, no fraction, just 2, just the whole number. All right. Okay, hopefully that makes sense to you. All right, now, what if I had a mixed number? What if I had, let's say I had 1 and 5/8, okay? 1 is my whole number, and then I have a fraction here, and 5/8 is a proper fraction. But what if I wanted to change it into an improper fraction? What would I do? Now, we did talk about this before spring break, so maybe you remember. But all I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the denominator times the whole number, then I'm going to add the numerator, all right? And that's the whole, it's still going to be all over the denominator, okay? So the denominator is going to stay the same, but I'm just going to say 8 times 1 plus 5, okay? So then 8 times 1 is 8, then plus 5 is 13. Denominator stays the same, so it'd be 13/8, right? And that's an improper fraction. So I can change a mixed number to an improper fraction. I can change an improper fraction to a mixed number, okay? Okay, now let's take a look at one more like that. Let's take a look at, say we had 6 and 2/5, and I'm wanting to change that into an improper fraction. All right, so again, my denominator is going to stay the same. So then I'm going to multiply the denominator times the whole number plus the numerator. All right, so 5 times 6 plus 2. Okay, so 5 times 6 is 30 plus 2 would give me 32 over 5. All right, and then that would be an improper fraction because the numerator is larger than the denominator. Okay, does that make sense? Denominator times whole number plus numerator all over the denominator. Good? All right, awesome. All right, so then let's talk about adding and subtracting fractions. All right. So let's say that I have, okay, let's say that we are adding. Let's say I've got 1 and 1/5 and 1 and 1/2. Okay, so the first thing that you recognize there is I have unlike denominators. And remember, when I'm adding or subtracting fractions, I must have like denominators. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to do the multiples of 2 and the multiples of 5 to find my least common multiple, which is also known as the least common denominator. Okay, so let's do that. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. All right, those are the multiples of 2. Now let's do the multiples of 5. We've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. All right, now we need to look for the ones in common. Oh, all right, 10 and 10. All right, that is also the least common multiple. So that is my least common denominator. That's what I'm going to change my denominators to, 10. Okay, so now what do? All right, so then I multiply this denominator times something to get 10. What do I multiply 2 by to get 10? 5, right? 2 times 5 is 10. So I have to do the same thing to the numerator. I have to multiply it by the exact same number. So then 1 times 5 is 5. All right, so then let's take a look at this fraction. What do I multiply 5 by to get 10? 2. All right, so then I have to multiply that same number times the numerator on top here. Okay, so then 1 times 2 is 2. All right, so let's don't forget our whole numbers here. So 1 plus 1 would be 2. Now, the denominators stay the same, so just bring that down. Now I'm just adding 2 and 5 is 7. All right, so that would be my final answer. When I'm adding these, I need to first make sure that I have like denominators. If I do not, I need to find my least common denominator and then make equivalent fractions. Then I can add or subtract. Okay? All right, so let's take a look at one more here. Let's take a look at a subtraction problem. All right, so let's say I've got 3 and 2/7 and 1 and 5/7, and I'm subtracting here. Now, I'm looking at this problem and I'm thinking, okay, great, I've got like denominators, let's subtract. Wrong, right? Stop. I cannot do that. I've got 2 and 5. 2 is smaller than 5. I can't subtract that, right? So what do I need to do? Borrow. All right, so I'm going to borrow from my whole number here. I'm going to borrow 1. Okay? When I do that, the 3 becomes a 2 because I've borrowed 1. With that 1 I've borrowed, I'm going to make it into a fraction. All right? And remember, any fraction that is the same on the top and the bottom, same numerator and same denominator, equals 1. Okay? So, with that fraction, I'm going to be adding it to the fraction I already have, the 2/7. So I need to make sure that my denominators are alike. So I need a fraction that equals 1 with the denominator of 7. So what's my numerator going to be? 7, okay? Because 7/7 is 1 whole, okay? I have all the parts here, all right? Remember, the denominator is how many total parts, and then the numerator is how many parts I have. I have all of the parts, so I have the whole piece, okay? I have the whole pie, okay? Does that make sense? So 7/7, I'm going to be adding it to the 2/7. All right, so let's rewrite this. My whole number is now 2. Now my denominator stays the same. So now I add 7 plus 2. 7 plus 2 is 9. This fraction I'm leaving alone. I'm not messing with it, so I'm just going to bring it over. All right, now I can subtract because I have like denominators, and this number is larger than this number, okay? So now if I subtract, I'm going to get 4/7 and 1, okay? So my answer would be 1 and 4/7. Okay? So when you're borrowing, just remember, you're borrowing 1, you're making that 1 into a fraction, and it's going to be whatever the denominator here is because you have to add the fractions together, okay? And you have to have like denominators to do that. We good? All right, so let's take a look at what you are working on today. You're taking a quiz. Yay, you're gonna do great, I promise. All right, so let's take a look at it. Number 1, you're just following signs. So are you multiplying, adding, dividing, or subtracting? Okay. 2, you are changing this mixed number into an improper fraction. Okay, you might want to take a look back at the video just to make sure you know how to do that. Okay. Then on number 3, you are filling in the blank with the word that makes sense. Okay, you're just finishing that sentence. And then on number 4, so you got your multiplying, then you were subtracting, now you're adding mixed numbers, and then subtracting those fractions. Okay? All right, just take your time, do the very best you can. I know you're going to do a great job on those. All right, I hope everyone has a fantastic day. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll be back with another video for you tomorrow.